All right, you guys, I am so excited. Chelsea texted me earlier today and she was like, "You want to do a Zoom tonight?" And I was like, "Sure, girl, but what?" And she was like, "Oh, I got it." And I'm like, "Okay, cool. Like, you tell me a time and a place and I'll be on Zoom and I will preach because that's my favorite thing in the world to do is to pour into people." So, Chelsea, I'm going to kind of let you take it away. And we'll just kind of see where the Zoom takes us. I'm excited.
Okay, awesome. Yes, thank you so much, Courtney, for getting on too. And then each and every one of you who got on this evening, we're happy to have you guys here. You guys probably know that Courtney and I are a little bit more of those red leaders. So we will bring the fire, but we're gonna do it with a lot of love too behind that. So we want you guys to hear us. We want to pour into you guys. We want you guys to get something from this. So, we will go over a lot of things. This is gonna be so good for each and every one of your guys' businesses. So that being said, my name is Chelsea. I am a triple diamond leader in the company. I have been in this industry for a couple years, and when I first started, I started for an extra $50. My husband and I both had our college degrees. We worked full-time jobs. We kind of thought we were living this American dream until the pandemic hit. We had our son. We live in California. It's very expensive. Now with inflation, it's expensive everywhere. So long story short, my husband got furloughed from his job for 2 days a week, and that was going to put us out a couple $100 a month, which we were already behind. There was already more month than money. So I remember just having my son and thinking, oh my gosh, what are we going to do? Well, he told me he was going to go do DoorDash. And I just kind of said, please don't leave. Like, we have a screaming baby who's 4 months old and I don't want to be here alone at night. So he fell asleep. I spent the last $149 we had to our name and I joined. So I actually joined in January when I did join. And so I didn't know what I was really doing. I knew that the person I enrolled with was making money. I didn't know how much. I just knew she made money. Um, so that being said, when I first joined, I was able to go triple diamond in my first 90 days, or sorry, double diamond in my first 90 days. I only wanted an extra like $50, and I wanted to like prove my husband wrong that this was actually real and not a scam, and also prove everyone else wrong. Prove everyone else wrong that probably thought this was not real or wasn't going to go anywhere. That kind of fueled my fire even more. So I was kind of one of those people that was a little bit scared to send out asks, or I was scared to do the tasks, or I wanted to go reinvent the wheel. And what I want to say to you right now is like, please don't go do that, especially if you're brand new. Don't go changing the messages. Don't go tweaking anything. Your enroller or your enroller's upline have been here for many years. We've already tried everything. It doesn't work. What we're telling you will work. So just a little bit more about me. I remember just getting on a Zoom and one of the leaders saying, "Hey, give this 6 months to a year of your life." And I didn't really understand that because I was like, wait a second, I just wanted to make like $50. I have to do this for 6 months or a year. Like, I don't even know what I'm doing yet. And so I gave it a year though. I had nothing to lose. And this was my plan A. I did not have a plan B. So within my first year, I saw about 55K. And the second year, I saw six figures. So here we are now. I'm the breadwinner of the family. My husband doesn't have to worry about getting furloughed or, being super present with his job or anything like that. So I am solely the breadwinner. It's very weird to say. Turn it into six figures, top 100 in the company, triple diamond team. And, just here we are. And I don't have any more money stress anymore. I can go do things. I can pick up whenever I want and, go do the extras, travel, have a savings account, and this is someone starting out with a very broke mindset, scared to message, scared to be coachable, scared to get on a Zoom, all the things. So if you're in a situation right now or you're in a season of your life where you have joined or you have been here maybe for a hot minute and you want to make, XYZ amount of dollars, you can. And that's what Court and I are here to do. We're here to tell you tonight that you can absolutely do this. Anyone can. It's just a matter of it starts with you. So I'm going to leave it at that. And Court, we'd love to hear a little bit more about your story as well.
Hey guys. Okay. First off, I didn't know you would double in 90 days when you first started. Like, what the heck? How did I not know that? You're insane. Y'all, we're going to get into that in a second. But like, she joined in January and went double in 90 days, which means if you just joined in January, you could go double in 90 days. So put a one in the chat if you're going to be making $5,000 a month 90 days from now. Put a one in the chat. Okay. You're going to listen to what Chelsea says and you're going to listen to what I say. Halfway. I didn't do it that fast. I did it, but not that fast. So my name is Courtney. I've been with the company for 7.5 years, almost, I can't say that, almost 8 years now, which is really weird. And And I started when I was 21 because I was drowning in credit card debt. I found myself sobbing on my parents' couch, wondering how I got to this spot of life where everything felt hard and that I was in this hamster wheel where I never got ahead. I was working paycheck to almost paycheck because it never made it there. And I never could get ahead because as much as I could pay, it wasn't enough to make me not maxed out on all my cards. So after the fees and everything, I was just even more maxed out. And it was like this never ending cycle. And I was like, I remember crying to my mom and saying, am I ever going to be okay? When is life going to not feel so hard? And I just remember sitting there sobbing because I couldn't do anything else. Okay. I did not have a college degree. I was in an abusive relationship in high school. I wasn't allowed to go to college at the time, which looking back now, don't listen to your boyfriend at 18. They don't know what they're talking about. But so I didn't go to college. I didn't have a degree. I didn't have a car. Like I had nothing. My parents drove me to and from work every day. And I just remember thinking like, I can't do anything else. And I had already tried a business like this before and I was so stressed out, but I got to a point where I kept seeing this girl posting about it. And I was like, you know what? Nothing else. Like, I don't have a chance. Like, whatever, might as well try because you never know what's going to happen. And I was sick of sitting there struggling and wondering what if, and if it would happen and all these things. And I was like, if I don't try a year from now, my life is going to look the same. And that terrified me more than the thought of trying something new. So here is where my story, it sounds all great and hyped up, right? Well, for the first 2 years, I let that fear of trying something new stop me. Okay. I knew what the company could do. I knew what the company has done for other people, but I never believed that it could do anything for me. So it wasn't that I didn't believe in the company or the products or the compensation plan or any of those things. I didn't believe in myself. And so for 2 years, I just kind of sat there and I ordered products sometimes and I posted sometimes. And it got me to January of 2018. Note the time, okay, January 2018, that was 5 years ago. I was freshly living with my then boyfriend, now husband, and I came home from work and I was distraught, okay? And I remember it vividly, and if you ask my husband, he has no recollection of this conversation, but it was like a turning point in my life. And so I came home and I was distraught, and he was like, what do you want to do with your life? And I was like, well, I'm gonna, like, it works is gonna pay our bills. And he was like, what? Like you made like $4 last month. Like, what are you talking about? And I was like, no, it's gonna happen, I promise. And he was like, uh-huh. Like you literally do nothing. You don't make anything. Like, what are you talking about? And if you are a red personality, you know that you don't like when people tell you can't do something. And so I was like, let me show you, honey. And so that was January of 2018. I booked my conference ticket, which if you do not have your conference ticket, go get it. It's in the middle of April. Come squeeze me, come squeeze Chelsea. It's gonna be so much fun. I'm so excited. But so I booked my conference ticket in the middle of having no money and all the things. And I was like, whatever, like I'm already broke. Let's just add some more debt to it. What does it matter at this point? And so I got to conference, you guys, January of 2018, I made $40. $40. And let me tell you, conference was a lot more than $40, but I didn't care because I knew there was something inside of me that told me I was made for more. There was something inside of me that told me I could do this. There was something inside of me that told me to just try. Right. And so that was January. And by March, I was an Emerald leader. Okay. Listen to that. Think about it for a couple weeks from now. I was an Emerald 2 months later. Okay. I went from $40 paycheck to just under 1,000 plus weekly bonuses, which was about another 500. 3 months after that, I promoted to Diamond, made just under 3,000 after bonuses. And then 3 months after that, I promoted to Double Diamond. So that was 8 months. I went from a $40 paycheck to 8 months later, I had my paycheck was just under 10,000 after all my bonuses. Insert income disclosure. Okay. I had paid off all of my credit card debt. I had doubled my full-time income. I had quit my full-time job, moved across the country. And 2 months after that, my husband, he was then a boyfriend, he quit his job and neither of us have worked a day since. This has paid all of the bills for my family, our boys, all of the things we paid for our dream wedding and honeymoon in cash. We drive this big Tahoe that Matthew wants that he was all excited about. And I was like, it's a car, I don't care. And so we live this life that we never thought possible because I said yes so many years ago. But really, it's because I said yes that second time in January of 2018 when I said, you know what, I'm going to go all in and I'm going to see what I can do. And everything changed.
I love it so much. I got the chills when you were speaking because it's just so crazy. It's so crazy. You can go from making, a certain dollar amount. I remember, my first couple of months in, when I saw that first $5,000, like my first 3 or 4 months in, I knew that I had the cookie. I knew that I had the vehicle that was going to get my family what we wanted and then some. Back then I was a little scared of the money. I will be very transparent with you guys. I was a little afraid of $5,000 because I'd never seen that much money on one of my paychecks, not even working my full-time career after going to college, and then working a 9 to 5 where I'm doing all of the work and, my supervisor or CEO is not even around to be present. I'm doing their work for them and I'm making way less than they ever even thought of making. So that's when I knew I was like, okay, I'm going all in now. I'm for sure, whatever that girl said, 6 months to a year, let me try it and see what happens. And it was just so amazing. So if you're new on here, I kind of want to talk a little bit about what to do if you're a newbie. And the first thing I want to say is do not reinvent the wheel. Okay, so what does that mean? Your enroller or your upline gives you something to post or a ask is what we call them to send, okay? And you want to go tweak it. You want to take out an emoji, you want to add your own verbiage, you want to just tweak something. Please do not. Like I said earlier, we've already tried all of that. It's not going to get you the hits you want. It's not going to get you the replies. When you have to say, I have a quick question for you, and it's not asking to buy anything with a little laughy face, I thought that was so cringe a couple years ago. That's all I've used for the last 3 years to get up post to post. That's all I use. It works. People think it's hilarious. People think I'm funny. They think it's cool, whatever it is. Okay. So you have to just kind of at that point, and I say this with a lot of love and grace, but we got to get over ourselves. You got to get over yourself. You got to send that ask out. You got to ask everyone and their mom. If they're on your Facebook, they need to be on there to either post for you. They're either posting for you, they're buying for you, or they're joining your team. That's the only reason why they're on your Facebook, okay? I have a lot of relatives on there who now know that they don't even know what I make, but they think I make some sort of money, maybe $800 a month, whatever it is. I do not care anymore. I got over myself. And that happened with a lot of self-development. So if you are brand new, self-development will probably be something that's new to you because unless you're like an overachiever and you're journaling or you're reading or you're working on yourself, like props to you, you're already like 10 steps ahead. I personally was not. So I had to get out, I had to listen to a couple podcasts. I am read. I'm super money motivated. I only want to do something if it's going to produce income. Reading to me does not produce income. Until a couple months in, I was looking left and right and going, oh my gosh, how do I advance? Well, I had to read a couple books. I had to listen to a couple podcasts. I had to turn off the music in my car and actually turn on a podcast, something that was income producing. And to me now, self-development is super important in this business. I'm going to be very transparent. Courtney and I had a conversation the other day. We're talking about December and I was like, oh, we're almost through it, friend. We're almost through it because it's Christmas. December's bad in any business of sales. It just is. It's not fun. So if you won in December, congratulations. We did have a lot of people who won in December, but January, now is the time to turn it up. And I mean like right now, but you have to make that decision. You do. Listen to what Courtney said. She looked at her husband and said, I'm paying all of our bills with this. Okay. Then they went and bought a Tahoe, paid all their bills, moved across the country, have multiple children, and live a life of freedom. Because she made that one decision. She shut off all those negative voices in her head that told her she couldn't do this, that told her she was just going to sit around, but she knew she was meant for more. And I think that's the hardest part to do. So it does start with you and being coachable. So what does that mean? I thought I was the most coachable person. I was like, I was a college athlete. I'm super coachable, like so excited to my leader. And then I went and tweaked every message she gave me because I thought it was a little bit cringy. And then I had to get over it. Now it's normal. Now it's normal. Now it's just like, okay, I have a question for you. It's not asking to buy anything. And then you just keep plowing through and plowing through. And I used to tell a couple girls in my downline this, and they'll never let me live it down, but like, how many times do you ask someone? And I used to say, ask until they block you or die. And that's very, very harsh, but like, that's where we were at in life. Okay. We were running hard. Our heads were down. The blinders were on. And you just ask. They're on there for a reason. They're watching. And you will see that the more you progress in this business. But, I just think you have to be very positive. And as a newbie, that's going to be the hardest thing you're going to find. But when you're driving, when you're, doing your laundry or with your kids or you're a dog mom or whatever your life looks like, you need to say, I sign dream distributors. And like, are you the dream distributor? Are you being coachable? If you're going to sign someone up, are you showing up to the Zooms? Are you doing the things that no one wants to do? Are you going to show up to the Zooms? Are you going to listen to the podcast? Because if not, you're not going to dupe yourself. I'm going to tell you loud and clear. So let me repeat myself. Are you right now, if you signed a you tomorrow, would you be happy about it? Would you be happy if they went and had all the enrollments you did? Would you be happy if they were on the Zooms? Would you be happy if they were you, if you want to dupe yourself? And I just remember thinking like, oh my gosh, I need to dupe myself. And when you dupe yourself, truth is they're probably going to do 75% or half of what you do. Okay, so just remember that. And finding distributors when you're brand new, it's going to be a little bit tricky at first. That's why, and even customers sometimes, borrow my confidence, borrow Courtney's confidence, whatever you have to do. But when you're signing customers, also lean in. Lean in, get close to the fire, lean into those that mass enroll every month, year after year, time after time. Courtney sat there with a bunch of products, she said, for months. Okay, same, guilty, same. Until you start using those products, know what they taste like, know what they smell like, know how to use a cleanse like the back of your hand. Order that box. The 30-day drop should have already been ordered if you have not ordered it. Order it now before it sells out, first and foremost. And then when you get it, you can talk about it in your stories. You can post it on your story. You can use it. You can see the new pretty bottles. You can smell them. You can taste them. You know what they do. And that's going to change your business so much. You have to be a product of the product. And so the way we do this, okay, the bread and butter, here's the secret sauce, why everyone's on here probably. How we make the money is host to post. And what that means is, it doesn't mean, I want you guys to be real honest with yourselves right now. This little gut punch doesn't mean get up 10 host posts tomorrow because you got so fired up on me and Courtney's Zoom. Get up 10 host posts, go sign 2 to 3 customers because that's probably the ratio. If you get up 10, right now it's boom season, so it's probably 2 to 6 customers. If you get up 10, you babysit them enough and you're on it for the day and you're on your A game and you're working your systems, you're working your shifts, you will sign customers. That's where we're at right now in this business. Right now it's the easy. Right now it's the boom. Right now it's fun. And it's going to be like that all the way through August, September. Okay. So December, we can all put behind us. We're moving on. Okay. We're getting up 10 host to post a day. And if you have not got up 10, I've been telling this to some of my downline too. Like, I've been like, I'm a little out of shape. Like I was getting up 10 in December, not every day, not like I should have been, enough to get my enrollment so I can put my name up, like, and say, oh, I got X amount of enrollments and I earned what corporate was offering, or I helped, a couple of my newbies promote to certain ranks. But if you haven't got up 10 in a day in a while, you have to get in shape for it. So commit to yourself 5 tomorrow, and 5 will turn into 7 and 7 will turn into 10. And tomorrow's Wednesday, I think. Anyways, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, get up 5 each day. Don't stop. Okay. And then Saturday morning, we're all free. Everyone's sitting on their phones. Get up a couple on Saturday morning. Then take your Sabbath, Sunday, whatever you need to do, Saturday, Sunday, however you do it. Not telling anyone how to work their business, but I am going to give you guys nuggets so that you have those tools, so that you have the things you need. Because doing it one day and saying, I got up my 10 hosts to post, and then tomorrow waking up, not following up, not checking on them, not getting up 10 more, you're taking yourself a week backwards in your business. So if you have not gotten up 10 in a long time and you're a little out of shape, okay, me too. I need to run a couple laps. I need to get in a little more shape. I need to get buckled down with my shift system that Courtney will go over for us. But I need to get back in shape. I need to decide what I want, what my why is, what my goals are for this year. Okay, I've been here for years. It's easy for me to say, what are my goals right now? Like, we all know what the goal is. Like, at the end of the day, you all know what your goal is, and you can't lose sight of that. So also, something I just want to touch on really quickly before we get into shifts is your why can never be your excuse. Okay, so if the why is your children, if you're doing this for your son or your kids or whoever it is, how are you going to put them as your reason as why you can't? Okay, so if you are doing this for your kids and your kid's sick or your kid's cranky that day or your husband, we all have life, or whatever it is that gets in the way, or your boss or your mom or your family or your friend or whoever it is that's going to get in your way, you need to go reevaluate your why. Okay, and how you're going to do that is you're going to go reach out to someone that's going to call you higher. Don't call your best friend that's going to tell you what you want to hear, sugarcoat it, blah, blah, blah. Call someone in this business. Maybe you're a little afraid of them. Okay, maybe they're going to tell you what time it is. Maybe they're going to tell you the truth, but they're going to do it with a lot of love. Because do you think Courtney and I haven't had to call people and go, hi, look, so I just signed 70 customers last month and now my tank feels a little empty and I don't know what to do next. Okay, well, why did you sign those 70 customers? I thought you were buying an SUV with cash. I thought you wanted to keep your husband home from work. I know you have a huge savings. What are you going to do? You can touch that? Probably not. You work so hard for it. So let's figure it out. Okay, let's figure it out, friend. Let's work together and let's go from there. So something that Courtney, I don't want to take the hype from you, but she invented it for the whole company, is something called our shift system. So Courtney, I would love for you to go into this. Just tell us a little bit of background of how you dabbled into this. And I've had a lot of my girls use it and just totally succeed from it. So I love this so, so much. We would love to hear all of your shift systems, what that looks like for you.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. It's so weird when you say, oh, I budgeted it for the whole company because I guess I technically did, but I just was really tired. Like I was just done with sucking at my business. Anyone else, like put a two in the chat if you were just like, I'm just over it. Like I just don't want to suck anymore. Y'all know what I'm talking about if you've been in for a while. That was me. Okay. And so I'm going to say a couple of things and I'm going to get into the shift system. Okay. So the first thing that I want to say, if you are brand new or you're in your first couple months, I want you to know it is okay and totally normal for it to feel hard and weird and overwhelming and like it's never going to make sense. And like someone is speaking Spanish to you, but you don't speak a lick of Spanish and you're like, I don't know what you're saying. I don't know what to do. I don't know what a HAP is. I don't know what a DT is. I don't know what any of this is. Okay. It is okay. It's okay. It's going to come together. I promise. So I want you to know that first and foremost. I want you to take a breath and say it's okay. Because a lot of times we start and we're like, okay, I need to know all the things about every single thing. And you don't, okay? It makes me laugh every time when someone's like, is this ingredient in the product? I'm like, I don't know, look at your website. I've been in for almost 8 years. I don't know. I can tell you, I cannot tell you a single full ingredient list of any of our products. I can tell you, I think, which products have caffeine. That's about like my cutoff. Okay. You don't need to know everything. We got internet. It's fine. It's fine. We don't have to live in the encyclopedia days. Okay. We're good. But I want you to know that you have to commit to getting consistent now. It is never going to be easier if you don't get consistent. It's never going to get easier if you do it once or twice a week. Okay. I want you to think of it this way. If you were like, all right, I'm going to lose weight. I'm going to do the things. If you only went to the gym once a month, one, it's always going to suck. It's always going to feel really, really hard, right? Two, here's a newsflash. You're never going to lose weight. Sorry. You're never going to get the hot mom bod working out once a month. Okay. Same thing here. This business is never going to feel easier if you do it once a week. You're never going to get rich if you do it once a week. Okay. Say that with love. So I want you to commit to learning and being coachable for at least the next 90 to 180 days. Okay. The next 90 days is kind of like a learning curve, right? You're just like kind of ignorance on fire, just kind of like doing the things. And like, I don't know why I'm sending this message. I don't even know what product this is, but I'm just going to do it. Okay. That's going to be the next 90 days. It will eventually make sense. Someone told me once, they said, you don't know how to work this business until one day you just do. And that's kind of what happens is it's like, I don't know what's going on. I don't know. And then it's like, oh, I got it. And I don't know if that day is going to be tomorrow or 6 months from now, but that day will come if you stay. Okay. So I want you to decide your commitment level and your goals now. Okay. So I want you to know why you're doing this so that come Sunday or whatever day when you don't want to work, you do it anyways. Okay. So decide why you're here. Decide how committed you are and be honest with yourself and then hold yourself to that standard. So your goals aren't like, I want to make $5,000 a month, but I want to work 5 minutes a day, maybe, right? Like it's got to be even. Okay. So, let's see. Okay. We're going to go over my shifts. Okay. So let me take you back about a year ago. I don't remember exactly when. It was like March-ish. Okay. I was really, really mad because y'all, like Chelsea said, January through June specifically is like hype up boom season. Like everybody is just like buying customers left and right. We got new distributors left and right. Like it's just like it gets easy right now. Okay. And it was March of last year and I was mad. Y'all ever been real mad where you're like, but you can't be mad at anyone but yourself because you're like, I just sucked it up. Okay. And so I got to a point where I got really, really real with myself and I figured out that I was not being consistent in any way, shape, or form. Okay. I was doing some tasks every day, but I wasn't doing all of my tasks every day. And I wasn't even doing the same tasks every day. And so by doing it that way that I was never consistent, there was never anything to compound on, right? So like I would post almost every day. I would do host to post almost every day, but like I never gained any traction, right? Like it's like when you're in the winter, right? I don't know how many of you guys live in cold areas. I grew up in Wisconsin and you got stuck in the snow like every other minute of your life. Okay. And so it's like if you just turned your car on and waited and you were like, okay, one day I'll get out of it. No, girl, like you got to put the like pedal to the metal. Like you got to like go. Okay. And so when I made that decision, I was like, okay, I needed to make a way to take my excuses off the table. I needed to figure out how I could overcome that hump of not being consistent because I was at that time, I was 9 months pregnant with a 1.5-year-old. Okay. And so I was like, my life is only about to get harder. Like I knew it wasn't about to get easier when I had a baby. Like I was like, this is just about to get worse if I don't figure this out now. And so I came up with this shift system. So basically what this is this is for people, this is for everyone really, but this is for those of you, sorry, y'all, these postpartum hairs kill me. I don't know what this is, but every time I'm on a Zoom, I just want to take a razor to my head. So just pretend this isn't happening. Okay. Thanks. We're going to pretend they're not there. So this system is for those of you that are like, I need to work like get consistent and work this, but I cannot be on my phone 8 hours a day, right? Put a 3 in the chat if you're like, I don't know how to work this every day. And so that's what I was struggling with is I couldn't figure out mentally how I could get everything done because 99% of the days it would get to 10 o'clock at night. And I was like, oh my God, I don't have any hosts to post up. So I don't know how I'm going to get 10 hosts to post up when I just want to go to sleep and haven't posted yet. So how am I going to post 3 times with 2 hours in between posts when it's 10 o'clock at night? And so like, I was like, what, like this, something's got to give. Right. And so basically what this is, it's 3 shifts a day. Okay. I'm going to tell you guys what my shifts look like. They've kind of changed and tweaked over the year, but this is what I'm doing currently. And basically what this is each of these shifts, they should only take you 15 minutes or so. The first couple weeks you're doing the shifts, they might take longer, but the more you do them, it's easier. And it's like clockwork and you can do it without thinking about it, okay? Before I tell you these shifts, I want you right now to find at least one person, actually not at least, find one person that you can commit to that you're going to message every single time you get a shift done. Mine is sometimes Chelsea. It depends how our days are going. But Taylor Grindstaff and I, every single day, every single shift, I tell her when I get something done. Because I don't tell her that so she thinks I'm cool by getting my shift done. But I tell her that because it freaks me out if I know that she knows that I didn't work. Okay. You know, like kind of like Chelsea said, like find someone you're a little scared of. I'm not afraid of Taylor. She's the sweetest soul in the world. But I don't want her to know that I didn't work. Like that's embarrassing. So I find somebody that's like, you don't want to tell you're not working with. Okay. So here are my 3 shifts and don't get hung up on like when I say morning, afternoon, night shift, it doesn't matter when you do them at least 2 hours apart though. So if you work 3rd shift, your first shift can be at 5 p.m. I don't care. Okay. 3 shifts a day, at least 2 hours apart. Here's my morning shift. Okay. Write this down. Post. 25 host to post messages. Add 25 friends. Do self-development. Post on your stories and do your next day follow-ups. I will say that again. Post. 25 host to post messages. Add 25 friends. Self-development. Post on your stories. Do next day follow-ups. If you have questions about any specific task, you can put it in the chat. Beyond that though, you guys, as I go through this, you need to talk to your enroller every single day. You need to tell them when your shifts are done. Okay. You need to let them know if you're struggling with any of these tasks. If you're like, hey, I'm willing to do it, I just don't know how. You have to own up to that because we cannot train you if you don't tell us you need to be trained. Okay. So that's my morning shift. My night or my afternoon shift, posting again, 25 post messages again. Add 25 friends. Again. Send happy birthday messages. And the 5th thing is second entry messages. So what the second entry is, because I don't know if your team does those, Chelsea, but basically what those are is I go through to people that posted for me 2 days ago and I ask them to post again about the giveaway for a second entry. And then I get more posts from that. Okay. I have a whole video on my host to post system. If you want that, I can send it to Chelsea. How do we know who to add? I do friends of friends. That's how I do it. My night shift, repeat that again, sorry. Afternoon shift, post, 25 post messages, add 25 friends, send happy birthday messages, and second entry messages. Okay. My night shift, posting, again, 25 post messages, again, add 25 friends, again. Okay. Then the 3 other things for your night shift is you are going to boost your host to post. So that means go back to posts that were posted about a week ago, comment on them again. If you don't know what that is, message me or Chelsea, we'll tell you what to do. 5th thing is to do a reel or a TikTok. Okay. I already know, insert all your groans and moans here about how much you hate them. Okay. I don't care. Okay. I hate them too. Okay. I feel like the weirdest person in the entire world. And I feel like everyone and their mama judges me. But at the end of the day, we all want to make money, right? And so if I told you, hey sis, I want you to post 100 reels and one of them is going to go viral and make you 10 grand, would you do it? If you didn't know which of those 100 it was going to be, you would, right? But you're not doing it because you don't believe in it yet. Well, I'm going to tell you to believe it anyways. Okay. So night shift, post 25 host to post messages, add 25 friends, boost your host to posts, do a reel or a TikTok. And the last thing is I want you to write down your potentials. Okay. This is just a planner. I'm a couple days behind, but literally you guys just write down your potentials. Okay. So that you know how to go back and follow up. You have to have a system. I don't care what your system is. I don't care if it's the notes folder. I don't care if it's your calendar. I don't care if it's a planner. I don't care if it's a scratch piece of paper that you lose sometimes. Like, do y'all hear that? Do y'all hear the beeping? Do you hear it? Okay, well, my computer might be blowing up. I don't know what's happening. If I die, come save me. So y'all have to figure it out. Okay, just do something. So here's what I want you to know. These shifts are going to feel weird for the first couple weeks. Okay, it's going to feel like a lot of work. The first time I did this, I was like, why did I tell myself I was going to do this? Like 75 post messages a day and like 75 friend requests a day. Like, I didn't want to do it. But let me tell you, back in March, I had 1 working distributor on my team. Now I cannot count how many people are working on my team. For this month already, I have 3 new customers and 7 new distributors already this month. Okay. This business can work for you and it will work for you, but you have to work for it first. This business in the beginning, it's a lot of work for a little bit of pay. And then as time goes on, it's less work for way more pay. Okay. But you got to get through that first part. You got to get through that learning curve. You guys, literally, you guys, the beginning, it looks like this. And so like, this is how much work you're doing, right? You're just going like this and this is your pay. And it's like, okay. But then your work is staying the same. And then all of a sudden your pay just goes like this. Okay. All of a sudden your pay just skyrockets, but you have to get to this part. Okay. So I want you to know, I wrote a note, but here it is. Since my computer decided to act like it was going to blow up, I lost everything. You need to treat your Facebook and this business like a business if you want it to pay you like a business. Okay. This is not y'all. If you're wanting 50 to $100 a month, this is not for you. Okay. Not this business is for you. I'm saying this message is not for you. Okay. Don't get me confused. If you want that 4 figures, 1,000 plus a month, put a money sign in the chat. Okay. Or a 4. I don't care. Whatever you want. Put something in the chat. Okay. This is for you. Here's the thing. You need to do all of these things, whether you want to or not, every single day. I don't care. Okay. Because if you do not, you're going to come to me or Chelsea in the next 90 days and say, this isn't working for me. And we're going to figure out something nice to say. But at the end of the day, what we're thinking is that's because you didn't work. Okay. If you do these 3 shifts a day, it will work for you. Okay. And if it is not working for you, if you're like, I'm doing the things and it's not working, check in with us. We'll tweak things. Be willing to constantly grow and learn and get criticized and know that any criticism from us is not coming because we're like, your posts suck. We're like wanting to help you. Okay. Everything comes from a place of love. So I want you to take your feelings out of these tasks. Okay. I want you to imagine these tasks and these shifts Like, this is your full-time job, and y'all have a boss, right? That's like, okay, you have to do all these things whether you want to or not. And you do them every single day, whether you want to or not, because it's your job. And you have to do them to keep your job to get paid. Right? So if you do not do these things, you're not going to get paid how you want to. So I want you to take your feelings out of it. I want you to remind yourself that if you send these messages and people say no, that's the worst case scenario, or they block you. So what? I don't care. Okay, this is your business. Unless these people that are going to talk bad about you, or like anyone that's making you doubt yourself, unless they're going to come to your house and say, hey, Taylor, I know that your I know that life is hard right now, so I'm going to pay all your bills this month. Ain't nobody going to do that. And if they are, send them my way. I got plenty of bills they can pay. Okay, nobody's going to do that. So you have to pay the bills for yourself. You have to get hyped up for yourself. You have to get committed to it for yourself. Okay, and I want you to stop wondering if it's possible. And I want you to stop wondering if it's all going to come together. And stop questioning and overthinking it. I don't know if she's on here, but my girl Cassie, she joined a couple days ago, and she just jumped head first into the shifts, and she was like, hey, I'm gonna do all the things. And I was like, you girl, go girl. And she just messaged me before this, and she goes, I just got my 10 post-it posts up today. I'm like, girlfriend, you started like 4 seconds ago. She has 3 potential customers already. Okay, for the 30-day drop. One of them's ordering on Friday. This business is not hard. This business is not impossible, but you have to work. And guess what? I promise you, Cassie, I see you, girl. I was looking for your face. I didn't see you, but I see you. Okay. Here's the thing. Cassie is going to be one of those people that 3 to 6 months from now is going to be a double diamond making $5,000 a month. I promise you. And there's a couple other people on here that I see, Rachel and Jordan, and I'm trying to look through names and I can't read because I don't have my glasses on. Okay, y'all, I'm calling you out. Step higher. Trust yourself. Trust that God put you here for a reason. Okay, He has you here for a reason, and He has all these plans to bless you and to change your life, but you have to believe Him and then work for it. And when you put all of that together, it will come together. So decide your commitment level, decide your goals, because 3 months from now, 6 months from now, everything can look different.
Okay, let's put 5. I think we're on 5. I need to see lots of 5s in the chat right now if we love Courtney. Okay, if she fired us up. I want to see all the 5s. And then also some of you put in here that you want to be held accountable, you want constructive criticism. Like, I'm coming for you. I got your names down, I got your names written down. I'm coming for you, okay? I appreciate that so much. But as leaders, we want to hear from you guys. Like, we know what it's like to be in your situation. We could easily, like, we're all living these parallel lives, okay? And we're going to be so much better together. Like, Courtney, I knew you were going to bring the heat, but woo, we are on fire over here, okay? I loved that so much. We're going to wrap it up with a little bit of red. And for those of you that don't know what it means, Courtney just wrapped it all up, okay, and threw it away the key. She locked away the key, and here we are. So if those of you don't know what the colors are yet, no big deal. I remember I got on a Zoom after I made my first $5,000. My enroller asked me to get on, show my face, tell my story, blah, blah, blah. And I was so broke and behind that I was like, I don't know. I just listened. She coached me on what to say before I got on, which is not really normal. And so I was just like, I just listened to her and I didn't know what to say. Okay. Because I wasn't there yet. Confidence wise, I wasn't there yet. Confidence level. I shut off the Zoom mid Zoom. I was like, okay, I'm done now. Sorry, my kid was crying. Okay. And that was not the truth, but I wanted off. I wanted out. I did not want to talk on the Zoom. I'm not saying everyone has to talk on a Zoom. You do not have to do that. That's not going to be everyone's niche. And the beauty of this is that anyone can do this. But here's the thing, you guys, what we can take away from what Courtney just said is you can make excuses, you can make money, but you cannot make both. Okay, so you can make excuses, you can make money, but you can't make both. And then another thing I have, bullet point, stop counting yourself out. Chelsea, 3 years ago, stop counting yourself out that you don't deserve $5,000, that you deserve to go to college, live paycheck to paycheck, have your crappy boss telling you what to do all day, and you don't deserve $5,000. Shut that voice off in your head. Courtney has to live with her mom, not have a car, not have her husband, not have her kids. No, she shut that voice off. She got sick of it. She was tired of her own situation. She got over her BS, okay? So stop counting yourself out. If you're counting yourself out, guess what? We all have the same 24 hours. We all have had jobs. We all have kids. We all have dogs. We all have moms. We all have dads. We all have whoever it is. Okay, husbands, friends, excuses, distractions. Okay, stop counting yourself out. I want you guys to all go implement these shifts. You have to go implement these shifts. And like I said, not tomorrow, not just tomorrow on Wednesday. Oh, pat on the back. I did my 75 asks. You better do that Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And by Friday, if you do it 2 days in a row on Friday when it's follow up Friday, you won't have time to get 75 asks out, and you'll be deep into 8 to 10 enrollments from Wednesday to Friday because you have been so busy and you have been so consistent, but you are working it into the nooks and crannies of your day. This business can give you so much freedom. It can be so beautiful if you believe it. I was talking to another leader earlier today too, and I said, hey, I want to tell you a little aha I'm having. Don't make fun of me. Don't make fun of me, okay? Like, love me where I'm at right now, but I'm driving around in my car, picking up my kid, going, everyone host a post for me. I'm speaking it to the universe. I love host to post. I love host to post. It works so well. It's given me, I get to sign strangers up every day. 90% of the people, and her and I were talking back and forth, she was laughing back at me. 90% of the people that I have signed in this industry, including distributors, I do not know. I don't know them from Adam. They don't know who I am. All they know is that I have a kid that I consistently post about, a husband, and maybe a little bit of extra pocket change. They don't know anything about me. They don't know what this business is. They don't know that they are going to be sending out asks. They're going to be meeting strangers. And it happened last month. Same thing, Christmas cash. One of my newbies earned it twice. Jamie, she's on here, earned it 2 times with her eyes closed, brought in 4,000 in volume pretty much by herself, earned the Christmas cash twice. And she looks at me and she says to me, she goes, oh my God, everyone on this sheet is a stranger. Well, yeah, pretty much. Because most of the time, your friends and family aren't going to support you. They will probably say, oh, I don't want to buy anything. What's the ingredient? What's in there? How does that work? Try to debunk something because you're doing something that's a little bit out of the norm. But what's out of the norm for Courtney and I is living paycheck to paycheck. What's out of the norm is her husband having to go to work every day and leave her 2 little boys, not having a big, huge SUV, not being able to stay at home, live in their beautiful, gorgeous home, do all those things. That Courtney does not want her norm to be her and her husband away from her babies. She doesn't want that to be the norm. She doesn't want her boss telling her what to do every day. She made that decision, turned her light switch on, and decided, I'm doing this. Okay. And once you guys decide, you have to get out of your own way and make that decision, or else this is never going to work. If you need help with that, reach out. Okay, Courtney and I, like we said, we love pouring into people. If you need help and you're like, I'm at my wit's end, I haven't done anything, I wanna fess up, I don't know what to do, I can't get over Sally Sue from second grade that's gonna judge me from sending her an ask. Well, guess what? If you send her an ask and she posts, Sally Sue and all of her cousins and brother and mom and aunt are gonna be on there. They don't know that it's, Vicky's day one or Kathy's day one or whoever else is on here, Kayla's day one, and she's never signed 70 customers in her life, but she's attended a Zoom and watched a bunch of other people do it, and now she wants to actually try. So borrow our confidence. Pretend you're Courtney every day. She didn't want to do those shifts, but she also didn't want to be burnt out. She said it took a couple months. It felt a little hard, but it probably wasn't a full couple months. A lot of those days were probably fun along the way. A lot of those days she probably had a great time messaging and she felt so good about herself. She was so on fire that the whole entire company, everyone, she was on every single Zoom. She had to book herself out months in advance for women wanting her on Zoom, getting her shift system. And now everyone implements that, but they implement it with a lot of, integrity, grace, and discipline. You have to be disciplined. If you're not sending 75 asks out a day, you have to check yourself. Okay. And if you're doing this for your kids, your daughter, your son, your husband to prove the world wrong, remember why you're doing it. And it cannot be your excuse or this won't work. Okay. So I just think the best part about this is we're going to put our 2 feet in. If you're on here, like, I feel hot. This happens to me from time to time. I feel hot. This was great. Like, Courtney, I love you. Like, I knew you're going to bring the heat. And, I kind of told her, I was like, let's not get too red because there's so many people with new distributor kits. And she kind of just was like, whatever. And, before this Zoom, I do want to share for a second. She didn't even acknowledge me. She was like, okay, yeah. So anyways, before the Zoom, I heard there was like a little bit of, a hurricane or something in North Carolina or somewhere outside of Charleston, because my little brother lives there and so does Courtney. And I got a text message about it, and it was like 10 minutes before the Zoom. And this is how dedicated, I don't know if it's a hurricane, whatever it was. Anyways, this is how dedicated I know Courtney is. I got the text from my little brother, blah, blah. There was XYZ that happened. And I was like, oh, well, should I call Court or should I text her and see if she's around? And I go, nope. She'll be there no matter what, because that's the type of discipline she has. That's the type of person she is. And this is why she makes the big bucks. Okay. This is why she makes the money that she does. She's dedicated. She doesn't use excuses. She shows up for her business. And guess what? If something's not working, she has heart to hearts with herself. Do you know how probably hard it was for her last March to go to herself and go, what am I going to do? I'm 9 months pregnant. Okay. Hello, hormones. I'm 9 months pregnant. And like, things are going to hit the fan even worse when this next baby comes. So I need to figure out a way to keep my $10,000 a month, keep my rank, and keep my team going. Okay, so when there's a will, there's a way, and I want you guys to hear that loud and clear. I think we summed everything up. The only thing I want to say is if you are on here and you're a newbie, you need to be in your enroller's face. Like, you need to be in their face, asking them questions. They need to know. That's how we know someone's working. And when you're working, most of the time, we're going to help you. We're going to help you. If you're working, if you're a working leg, you're going to get some help. Okay, it's just going to happen. It's just the way it goes. That's just part of it. And until you master host to post and kind of just get out of your own way, that's the only way this is going to work. So Courtney, we love you so, so much. If there's anything else you want to touch on, we still have a little bit of time. I feel like you summed it all up, but if there's anything else that I made you think of something, again, can we give her a couple more, like, let's go 6 in the chat. Let's give her some 6s. She's our girl. She's our girl. She did such a good job. I loved this so, so much. And I appreciate you. Thank you for taking the time. And I hope if you guys are on her team, you know what amazing leader you have right now. Like, she will do anything for her girls. So I'm just so happy for you guys. Like, you guys are going full on triple diamond team. Lots of doubles are popping. Like, it is coming and I cannot wait. So everyone buckle up. The 17th is right around the corner. I believe it's the 17th when our CEO is announcing bonuses. For whatever reason, I thought it was the 18th. So the 17th. So let's make a decision now. Let's all make a pact here. There's 28 of us on here. Let's make a decision in the next 7 days before those bonuses are announced that we now get back into shape. Okay, we get back into shape. We run those laps. We send those asks out. Get yourself back into shape. So on the 18th, you're not looking left and right, watching Courtney earn X amount of bonuses, or Taylor, or whoever else is on here. I can name all of you guys. And you're not counting yourself out. Okay, let's count ourselves in as of tonight. I loved this so, so much. Thank you for everything. If there's anything else, please go ahead and unmute. And we just love hearing from you.
Hey, oh my gosh, you guys, Zooms fill my soul so much. I love them so much. But the only thing that I wanted to tell you guys, that I don't know why I didn't say this before, but we kind of said this, the only thing that's going to stop you from where you are to where you want to be 6 months from now is you and your work. And back in January 2018, when I was like, all right, I'm going to go all in, you guys, like I said, I did not have a single working distributor on my team. And the most customers I'd ever signed before in a month is 2. In February, I signed over 50 customers. In March, I signed over 70. I'm not special. I just decided to be dedicated. I wasn't waiting to get lucky. I wasn't waiting to just have something go viral. Y'all, we didn't have stories back then, I don't think. Like, I think we didn't have host to post. I don't know what I did. Looking back, I don't know what happened. But I just decided I was going to work for it. And I was going to get consistent, and I was going to get dedicated, and I was going to do all the things, and I was going to take the excuses off the table. And because I did that, I may have slept a little bit less. I may have said no to some date nights or dinners or friend outings or whatever, but I don't regret it. I don't look back and wish I would have slept another hour versus working. I don't wish I would have watched one more Netflix show versus working, because our life now looks different than it ever would have. And so I want you to look at your schedule. I want you to find a way that you can get these 3 shifts done every day. Look at your schedule. I don't care if you have to wake up a half hour early and go to bed a half hour late every single day for the next 6 months. Is 1 to 2 hours a day worth a 5-figure paycheck a month? If the answer is yes, figure it out. Figure it out get the 10 host to posts up, get the 3 shifts done, and it's all gonna come together.